Good day to everyone. My name is Ulysses Opina, a fifth-year architecture student from Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City, here to present my capstone thesis proposal, Centro, a multimodal transportation hub, study on solving accessibility of domestic and national land transportation through modern architecture. The capstone theme is reshaping architecture in the changing environment. Transport is a key sector in the Philippine economy, linking population and economic centers across the islands. The transport system of the Philippines consists of road, water, air, and rail transport. Water transport plays an important role due to the archipelagic nature of the country, but road transport is by far the dominant subsector, accounting for 98% of the passenger traffic and 58% of the cargo traffic. While the transport infrastructure has been developed and spread out across the country, around 215,000 kilometers of roads, 1,300 public and private ports, and 215 private and public airports. But the level of the structure of the service has not been sufficient due to the lack of sustainable financing. Improving transport infrastructure is critical for strengthening the investment climate and enhancing economic growth. The Philippines has seen the modest improvement in the quality of its transport services, but a large part of the road networks remains in poor conditions, and intermodal integration is generally weak, so poor sectors of governance also impedes the efficient operation of the sector. One of the promising provinces in terms of business and tourism, specifically on Clark Airport Freeport Zone, is Pampanga, which is formerly an American military air base. So now, Clark is home for different local and international companies, such as BPO, hotels, resorts, amusement parks, and an international airport. However, local, domestic travelers and international travelers still suffers with accessibility with the public vehicles for most areas, especially in the northern part, which is specifically at Clark and Mabalacat City, with the only limited vehicles going from point to point. The current problems that are being faced in the city of Clark and Mabalacat is the limited transportation accessibility throughout Pampanga, mainly Clark on the northern Mabalacat, as this current situation of the people in the northern part of Pampanga. Only few are operating public vehicles with specific routes, which doesn't reach many parts of both cities, which Clark has limited buses and UV that are only able to transport throughout the city, which also encompasses those who are from the northern part of Mabalacat that are needed to go traveling to the south in order to get in with the available buses or transportation on getting out of Pampanga, while others who work directly going to Clark are also needed to travel to get out of their way to a public vehicle which specifically only being let on to the city of Clark. Another is increasing the travel demand due to the prediction of higher tourism in the near future and the controlling the traffic flow of what may happen. So within the CIA, passengers of the terminal currently has a capacity of 4 million passengers annually, with the authorities plan to make it to accommodate another 7 million passengers for a total of more than 10 million passengers annually in 3 years' time, in which in a few years my time will significantly make use of the opportunity, and the transportation and the traffic jams is becoming major of a problem of concern regarding about the accessibility of how vehicle movement and how the flow will be affecting both life of locals and visiting tourists. So with this, the scattered terminals is the only way of traveling by land of international tourists that are from the CIA or the Clark International Airport, which may cause inconvenience throughout the fast-paced growing of tourism of Pampanga. The objectives of this proposal is about establishing a centralized terminal for all transportation to ease travel stress on the region and control proper distributions throughout the two major areas in Pampanga and throughout. Second will be promoting a system efficiency to work toward the efficient movement of people and goods using multiple land transportation modes for this one. So lastly, to enhance economic development, which is going to be about the transportation that should be used to spur economic development, particularly in the downtown areas, which means it will be aesthetically pleasing so that it can help spur the economic development. The site location of the project will be near the Clark Freeport Zone and along the north of Barangay Poblacion and Barangay Mapiga. It has a lot area of 75,163.56 square meters, which is around 7.5 hectares. The site access of the road network for the project will be along Gilpoyat Avenue, along Clark East Perimeter Road, and lastly, near St. Ines Interchange. The surrounding developments for the site is adjacent to the North Luzon Expressway and near the Clark Freeport Zone, which is the near developing Dinosaur Island and the current expanding of the Clark Freeport Zone. The composition of target for the project will be the international, national, and local travelers. As with the current increasing tourism of the said city of Pampanga, the expected increase on people visiting the region will not only improve the economy of the area, but it will also affect the current stature of tourism in the Philippines, as the government may be able to build funds making the use of the full utilization for the full land transportation, which is fully functional 24/7. It will also greatly increase the way of access to the other parts of the region who reside in the isolated areas of Mabalacat, which is in the further north. Next will be the design concept. The architecturals that's gonna be used on the current project will be modern contemporary. So this is gonna be the modern approach for the proposed project so that it be applicable to the selected site in the area that is still developing into a more modern area, becoming aesthetically pleasing for the user and inhabitants of the area, as well as the ability to adapt to the current time. This concept has a wide range of variety applicable to straight to curvy lines, becoming to adaptable to the environment. The material concept for this one is going to be under the concrete and steel construction, as it's gonna be very common yet prove to be reliable in terms of integrity of the structures, as it also stands against times and shows strength to support the weight of the loads being placed upon it. Another will be the tempered glass. It is gonna be the most economical and widely used material, which provides both strength and functionality used in windows for the large scale structures. The design considerations used onto this structure will be the circulation, the ventilation, aesthetics, the building laws, the users, the sustainability, and functionality. The design philosophy under the project is architecture should speak of its time and place but yearn for timeliness, which is by Frank Cherry. The site is bordered with a vertical clearance of 4 meters cyclone wiring fence, as it's gonna be composed with the road network going over the whole site with a proper circulation for both public and private vehicles, avoiding the current traffic in the facade of the project. Roads are consist of an 8-meter 2-lane road, which is gonna be for private and public vehicles as an access for the whole site. There is a separate entrance for the buses, as to which they'll be able to circulate from the bus depot from buses that are in standby. There are 5 buildings in the current project. First is the shopping center, which will be the second major source of income, as it may be leased by the government to private businesses and will serve as an entertainment and necessity area in stops between travels. Second is the modernized bus terminal, which is the main source of the income, as it operates 24/7. Third is the Jeepney and UV Express Terminal, in which provides local transportation throughout Mabalacat and Clark, and lastly, the Automotive Repair and Maintenance Shop for both public and private vehicles, in which provides services for all who operates automobiles. The design feature used for this project will be the skylight and natural lighting. This design features focuses on the natural lighting to make use of the current location of the proposed structure and provide sustainable and cost-effective maintenance in the following years for the structure. There are an allotted area for the future development plans, in which the government may provide optional services or to put in a business with any private companies in which could benefit the proposed projects, such as a hotel, as it may also boost the further tourism. Here are the current plans in regards about the structures. First of all, the plans for the shopping center, as this is gonna be the necessity and also the entertainment area that will gonna be providing services for the travelers. These are the plans for the bus terminal, which serves as the major mode of transportation for both domestic, national, and international travelers going through in and out of Pampanga. Here are the plans for the UV and the jeepney terminal used to provide local transportation throughout Clark and Mabalacat City. Lastly, here are the plans for the repair shop and the maintenance for the locomotive vehicles. Thank you for listening about my proposal, Centro, a multimodal transportation hub, study on solving accessibility of domestic and national land transportation through modern architecture. Here is the walkthrough for the whole project.